Hello, hello. Welcome to MomBoss Life. I'm your host, Karina Groombridge, and this is episode 8, where I will be joined with Ashley. She is a wonderful, curvy, happy, healthy life coach, and I'm just going to give her a second to jump on right now. Let me just check and see if she is. Yes, all right, we're adding. Let's hope technology can join us.
Hey,
Yay! Hello, Ashley.
Hey, Karina, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be
Uh,
here. Thank you.
yes, thank you so much for joining. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just want to put in my headphones just in case.
Awesome.
Okay. Not sure if that's better or worse, but
Oh, yeah. Let me turn, now it's kind of loud. I'm going to turn my volume down. There we go.
there we go. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. So, if we could just get started, if you could give us a quick little intro to you and who you are and a little bit about yourself and your family.
Yeah, my name is Ashley Rainsbarger. I am a certified and intuitive health and life coach. And it's really just my passion to help women have get healthier and have the courage and confidence to create the life that they want to create. I have 3 kids. I have an 11-year-old girl, I have an 8-year-old boy, and I have a 1.5-year-old girl. So we had a pretty big, a pretty big gap
Yeah,
there.
that is a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
You're looking at like two totally different worlds. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of other mothers going, "Yeah, I'm with you."
Yes. Yes. It was almost like being a new mother again. It felt that like much of a shift. But it's also really nice because my daughter is 11 now, and she's actually a really big help. So
Oh,
she can
that's
even watch her
fantastic.
for a little bit if I need her to. So it's great.
That's very exciting. I have to make sure my children aren't necessarily all in the same place at the same time because they
Yeah.
might kill each other.
Yes. Yes. So that's definitely
Yeah.
the case between my daughter and my son. They're close enough in age that they fight a
Yeah.
lot.
Ah, yes. Go
Yeah.
figure.
Yes.
All right. So, I'd love to know, so what got you started? Like, what drove you to go and start your own business?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who I had a lot of jobs. Even like when I was in, I always knew that I wanted to go to college. And then when I went to college, I wasn't really sure like what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to write, but people say, well, you can't make any money writing. So, so then you get like that voice in your head that tells you can't do the thing you want to do. So you better figure out some way to do something else. And so then I was like, okay, well, maybe I can't write creatively, but maybe I'll be like a business writer or something. So I went ahead and went down that path, and I graduated with like a technical writing degree, which, working in a cubicle and editing software documentation is not the same as writing,
No.
inspirational, things or creative things. So that got old really fast, and I didn't want to be in a cubicle anymore. But it took me a
No
while to,
kidding, really?
yes, but it totally took me a while to figure that out. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll try a new cubicle job, and then I'll try a new cubicle job. And, and then I was like, oh,
Hmm.
this isn't, I don't enjoy this. I need to do something that is going to be, where I feel like I'm making a difference. So that actually led me to teaching. And that was better, that was a lot better. I got to work with kids, which I love. I got to be, somewhat of an influence for them. And then, but still it was very limiting. I still had a boss. I still could only make
Mm.
so much money, you know what I mean? And I just felt like I wasn't like reaching my full potential. And one day I was like, why can't I have my own business? Why can't I do what I want to do? And it just occurred to me that the only reason I couldn't was because I kept telling myself over and over that I couldn't, and I wasn't taking, any kind of action. So I,
That's so impressive. Like,
yeah,
just honest to God, coming to that realization is really tough for a
yes,
lot of people. So good on you. How did
thank
you
you.
like was it through books that you were reading, through things that you were listening to, or was it just like totally on your own going, I don't like this, I need to change?
Yeah, I remember being really frustrated one day. I bet a lot of moms can relate to driving back and forth to work and just crying because you hate going to your job. And so I was like, well, I need to, I need to listen to something that's going to make me feel better. So I'd never tried Audible before. And I was like, well, you get your first book free, so I'll do Audible, and I'll listen to this one book that I heard about called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Yes, love that.
And I love that book. And for whatever reason, it just kind of, it lit a fire under me. And she basically is saying, if you want to do the thing, you just got to go do the thing. And, it was the right time for me to hear it, I think. So it just resonated with me.
Amazing. Yes, I pretty much live off of Audible. That's whenever I say I read something, really, I listen to it because realistically, I'll fall asleep when I read. Yeah. So yes, I'm totally with you.
Yeah, there's something different about listening to it too, and especially when it's in the author's voice, and then you really get a feel for it. Yeah,
it's so true. It's really good. So can you tell us more about your business and your Genius Zone?
Yeah, I when I actually listening to that book by Jen, it occurred to me that I might make a really good life coach. I've actually been through a lot in my life. I've experienced, a lot of hard things, and I still managed to marry a wonderful man, even though I didn't have that example in my life. I still managed to graduate college. I managed to get my master's degree. I was really good at getting jobs. So
nice.
Yeah, so I was like, well, maybe I can really help somebody else who's feeling stuck. And it never occurred to me that I wanted to be a health coach. Honestly, like when I thought of health coaches, I thought of really tiny women who were really fit, and just ate greens all day. And, that was what occurred to me in my brain. So I just thought, well, I don't look like a health coach. And honestly, I had a lot of habits myself that I needed to work on. So it didn't seem like I should be a health coach. But I found a really cool program that allowed me to get a dual certification in health coaching and life coaching. And I was like, well, what the heck? Then I'll have both and I'll be smarter and we'll do
you can
that.
At least apply it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I'll learn something, And, it seems really silly to me now, but I was like, going through the program, I just really realized, well, to have a really amazing life, you actually need to be a really healthy person. Like that's important, right?
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also found just a really holistic approach to health coaching. It wasn't just about what you eat and how much you move your body. It was really a lot about mindset and the way that we talk to ourselves.
Yes.
So I cleaned up a lot of my own habits, and I found I ended up losing 25 pounds, even though I had struggled so hard, really for years before that to lose any weight. So it was really about the energy that I was putting into the weight loss, and not so much what I was eating and not so much how much I was moving, but how I thought of myself and how I loved my body. And so that's what I really want to help women do. I want them to know that it's not so hard and you don't have to make drastic changes. It's just simple, mindful things that you can do that just one leads to the other, and then before you know it, you just have a deep respect for your body, and so you want to do things that are gonna help it be healthier and help it, have more energy. It happens naturally, I think.
Yes, I completely agree. I focus on mindset in business, but really it's applicable to just about everything in your life, obviously.
Exactly.
And I couldn't agree more. That mentality of, the fad diets and the this and the that, if you just listen to your body, and when it says that's not a good idea, that's not going to give me energy, then don't go there.
Exactly. Yeah. And we really lose, when we think of intuition, we think of this mental intuition. You really have a physical intuition. And we really lose connection with our body, and we lose that connection between mind and body. And we don't trust our bodies anymore. We get really frustrated and we say really negative things about our body. And so our body reacts accordingly. But when you start listening, you start honoring what your body wants, the relationship changes completely.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's excellent.
It's kind of how there's that scientific study that talks about how if you talk in a kind manner to plants, how they will actually grow more.
I've heard that. Yep.
if you talk to yourself in that way as well, it has the same effect. Your body will do more of what you really desire for it to do if you're treating it in the way that it deserves to be treated. So
I know. I find that fascinating. I don't know all the details and the subtleties behind it,
hmm
but I love it. That's
yeah, it's interesting.
amazing. And such a like a simple shift that you can make for yourself, like just starting to
hmm
recognize what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
So, um, all right. So you had talked about, um, actually, no, I think, have you ever contemplated giving up in your business? I know, as an entrepreneur, there are usually all sorts of moments where you're just like, can I really do this? Can I tackle this? And I'm just curious for you, like, have you come across that hesitation, that like moment of like, can I do this? Should I do this?
Yeah. Like in the beginning, every day, every day, you're like, can I keep doing this? Because it's different. You don't have a boss, so you have to keep yourself disciplined. You don't have somebody patting your back all the time, telling you that this is a good idea or this is the right thing to do, which is why it's so important to get support. But it's just so hard, like to come into something so new, and not know, if you're doing what you should be doing. Like we try to figure out like what we should be doing. So in the beginning, yeah, it was really hard. And like you were saying earlier, like the mindset is so important. Like mindset and everything. When you really like work on that mindset and just start to trust, what your intuition says and what your gut says, and just lean into that direction, then things start happening. They start happening for you because you're moving in the direction of your joy. Anytime you're moving away from that, that's when we have problems. But if you're going in the direction of what you enjoy, you can't go wrong. And that's just what I've been doing. I've just been working more and more on listening to myself and trusting what it is that I want to do. And at this point, there's no going back. You get to a point where you're just like, I can't live the way that I lived before. No matter how safe and comfortable that was, it just was not worth it for me. I really enjoy inspiring other women, and I really enjoy doing what I love to do. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know a lot of people that may be listening might be on like the early stages of growing their business. So it's amazing to hear from you that
Mm,
like even though it's not 100% stable necessarily yet, like you still wouldn't go back. So that
yeah.
I think is a good point to bring up to other people who are maybe earlier on in that stage, because that maybe like what if and all of those questions, like at the end of the day, is it really worth it? So clearly for you, like you found your joy, you found your thing that makes you happy, and now you can share that with others. So I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And in the beginning, do what you need to do to feel comfortable. So if you need to keep your job so that you don't have
Mm.
like that financial stress. Don't put all this pressure on yourself and say, well, I have to make this happen in a year, or I have to make this happen in 18 months, or I'm going to quit. Don't do that to yourself. Just take it step by step and do what you need to do to feel good along the way. And then, once that you really have whatever success looks like for you, then you can make, those bigger decisions.
Very true. So I'd like to know hello, Kim. Thanks for joining us. And anyone else who's watching, drop a comment below if you have any questions for Ashley, or if you just want to say hello, say where you're from. And if we don't catch it live, then we can always come around and answer those questions after. So, Ashley, what traits do you find have really helped you to succeed in growing your business, like your personal traits?
Hmm. I think in the beginning, it's just my natural ability just to be calm and to be persistent. One thing that I think is really important is, and this is so hard, and I actually haven't really gotten good at it until lately, but is just really detaching from the outcome. Like we get so like focused
Mm.
on the thing that we want to make happen, but you have to go back to realizing, like, why did I start this in the first place? Is it because you can, is it just because you can make a ton of money, or is it so that you could inspire other people because you want to serve the world in a different way. So just detaching from whatever like outcome specifically that you're looking for, and just connecting to why you started in the first place, why this whole journey is important to you. And you don't, it just is one person at a time, or, one service at a time, or whatever. If you're, it's just one thing at a time, one small step at a time. And just, trying to let go of like that huge big picture that we paint in our minds, and just, asking yourself, what can I do today to get closer?
Yes. I love that. That's a lot of the things that I've been talking about to my audience lately is, figure out your why, get really connected with your why, and start taking small, tiny steps, because usually we'll make a mountain out of a molehill and just stop before we even get started when, that thing is just so big. So when you break it down, it makes it so much easier to just go and get started and do that one little thing.
Yeah. And I was the queen of overthinking. So I totally like relate to that. Like just beating something to death. And we really just, one step at a time. In my program, I'm always talking about the minimum commitment, like, because there are going to be days when you wake up and you don't want to do all the things and you're not sure if what you're doing is making a difference. And the best thing to do on those days is just say, what's the least amount that I can do today that I still know is taking me further, is getting me to where I want to go.
Yes. Love that. So what does a day in your life look like? You said you have 3 kids, not too sure what your husband's up to, but like, what does your typical day look like?
Yeah, I wake up pretty early because I like to get ready and get like sort of the things that I like to do done before my kids are up and before I have to do all that. My husband goes to work really early. He goes to work at he leaves a little after 6 o'clock. So I actually get up at like 4:45, and that's so that I can, if I want to do my walk, I can do my walk, and I can take my shower, and I can do, a little bit of journaling, or I might do like a short meditation. And that's just because that stuff is really important to me, and I may not have time the rest of the day to do it. So I make sure that I get that done first. And then it's, I have to wake my youngest one up, and I take her, usually it's between me and I have a day sitter and the grandma. So we all kind of juggle, who has her on any given day. And my 2 oldest ones go to school, and so I get to, I'm really lucky that I get to focus on my business during the day, because I'm not one of those moms who can write a Facebook post while my 1-year-old is like hanging on my leg. Like I can't. A lot of moms do that, and I think that's amazing. I cannot do that. I can't focus. So I get to focus on my business most of the day, and then the kids are home again, and we have dinner, and I try to make sure that I have a little time at night with my husband. And so, yeah, that's pretty much a typical day.
Nice. Okay. And
my cats.
Yeah. You got to get your little fur babies in there too.
Gotta play with them.
So what do you do to take care of yourself? I mean, you're a happy, healthy, curvy life coach. So are there things and rituals that you do to take care of yourself? I know you mentioned a couple in like your morning routine.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you like make sure you have in your day?
I think that like above all, we really have to take care of our mindset, because the physical aspect of it is really important too, but you won't bother to take care of the physical part of yourself if you're not taking care of the mental part of yourself. So I really am talking a lot about like intentional journaling, or some kind of journaling, and not like the journaling where you just, vent like all your problems, just to like get it out, Dear Diary or whatever, but like the kind where you ask yourself an intentional question and then really explore that, because it's really a way to get to know yourself on a deeper level and to understand why you do things the way that you do. So it can be as simple as like, why am I struggling right now to lose weight? Why am I struggling to communicate with my husband? What could be, why am I struggling like in my relationship with my children? It can be anything that you're struggling with, just asking yourself those questions. So I always spend time journaling. I really always like to make sure I get in some kind of short meditation. And making sure I'm getting in movement and just like eating mindfully. So like you said about the diets, I'm not a diet person. I don't believe in diets. I'm always telling my clients, trust yourself. Don't trust rules that other people have made up for you to follow. But the more that I've practiced mindful eating, the more that I just, on more of a regular basis, I just want to eat healthier. But I still like Oreos and I still like tacos, and I'm still going to
And
have
that's
those things.
okay.
Yes, and that's okay. I'm just not emotionally dependent on the foods anymore. I just have them because I enjoy them and because that's what I want when I want it. But most of the time I eat healthy because I want to feel good. So
Nice, which is so important.
yeah, yeah.
Because if you feel good, then everything else benefits.
Exactly. Then everything works so much better. Your mind works better, your body works better, everything works better.
Love it. Okay, so I'm wondering what you've got going on in your business right now. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah. Actually, I have a couple things. Can I talk about those?
Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
One thing that's
Oh, don't. Sorry. One thing.
yeah. Go ahead.
Before you get started, this is going live on Facebook and YouTube later, and so whatever it is, just please mention if it's time based or time sensitive.
Yeah,
So in
definitely.
case somebody sees this a few months down the line, like if it still applies then.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that's just really cool that I started recently is it's called Big Girls in Business. So it's really about talking to women who, curvy, confident women in business who are just creating the life and the business that they love. So that's just kind of an interview series I'm doing. So if you're someone, if you feel like you're a curvy, confident woman and you have your own business and you want to, have a conversation with me about that, that would be awesome. And then other than that, it's a new year. I have new spots open in my one-to-one coaching, and I'm just super excited to help some more women really step into, their power and detach from the emotional eating and figure out what it is that they want to do and how they want to take more action in life. So if you're looking for somebody to help you really on that journey, then I'm super excited to take on a few more clients this year.
Amazing. All right. So I love your little fur babies in the back.
There's Abby.
I had a cat once. She was not that friendly.
She only likes me. She only likes me. She doesn't like anybody else.
Oh, yeah. Well, gotta love mommy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, right now the best place to find me is really just to hang out on my personal page. That's where I post like most of my inspirational content. So you can either follow me or you can even friend me. So I have a ton of open friend spots. So just come hang out with me on my personal page.
Excellent. Yes, I believe I tagged that in the comments above. So
yeah,
you can find Ashley there. And just lastly, do you have any words of advice for the audience as far as like how you work with your clients, what you think could benefit from?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about women just stepping into what it is that they want to do and who they want to be. I think so many of us just decide that certain things aren't possible. Like I can't start my own business. I can't, lose weight. I can't do anything that I want to do. My life just is the way that it is. And I really want you to step kind of out of that comfort zone and ask yourself those deeper questions. What if it was possible? What if you could do those things? What if it's not as big and as scary as you think it is? And just really, begin to ask yourself those questions. Start with the journaling, start with one healthy habit a day to help your mindset. Just don't believe that you can't do more or that you can't do the thing that you actually really want to do. Start listening to that voice. What is it, that it's calling you to do?
Amazing. Yes, I love it. I think we're speaking the same language. You're focused more on the health, I'm focused more on the business, but we're speaking the same language.
Yeah, that's right. It's just mindset. Mindset in different areas is so important.
Yes, awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And for everyone who is listening, if you would love to reach out to Ashley, her contact info is listed above, below, wherever. And please reach out, get in touch. If you've got comments or questions, please drop them here. We'll circle back around and make sure we get to all of those. And that is it for tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karina. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.